So we go to James in Dallas, Texas, listening online. James, your question for Archbishop Alexander Sample.
Well, hi there, Archbishop Sample. Anyhow, basically, I was just wondering if listening is the most important role of a congregant in the pews, especially what I mean by that, listening to the homily or sermon, and hopefully the priest will touch on a current topic, and then what I call grounded in solid gospel teaching instead of so many people in the pews praying, paying, and exiting, as I like to call it. What is your overall view on that?
Well, thank you, James. That's a very good and important question. I'm glad you asked it, because listening, being receptive at the Mass, is very much a part of that full, active, conscious participation in the sacred liturgy. And I think that's, listening and being what some might call passive during the sacred liturgy is like in the minds of many liturgical people is sort of like the mortal sin of Mass, is that you ever be in a passive mode. And passive, I don't mean, that's probably very much the wrong word to use. To be in a receptive mode, to be listening, as James said, to be listening to the Word of God, to be listening to the prayers of the Mass. I mean, how many of us, 5 seconds after the opening prayer of the Mass, the collect of the Mass, can remember what the priest just prayed? Are we even listening to what that prayer says? The other texts of the liturgy are very important, and many of them deeply rooted in a long tradition. But to be in that listening mode, to be listening to the Word of God, to be listening to the prayers of the Mass, to be listening to hopefully what is a meaningful and spiritually uplifting homily, sometimes also to be listening to the sacred music that is being sung. Sometimes the choir or the schola will be singing something that isn't meant for congregational singing, but is meant for choir. But listening, being in a receptive listening mode to the sacred song, also is a form of active participation. This is what I was trying to get at earlier, too, is that this idea that we're participating interiorly. We're participating with our mind and our heart. But that means having open ears, open mind, open heart to be receptive to the grace that Christ wishes to give us through our participation in the sacred liturgy. So I think a very important question.
How does that strike you?
Thank you.
Oh, very good.